The Senate confirmation hearing for Supreme Court nominee Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson enters day 3 today. The Supreme Court nominee faced tough questions from Republicans yesterday over her judicial philosophy and decisions would influence her decisions on the high court. For more, let's go to our congressional correspondent, Kamini Dukart, live from Capitol Hill. Good morning.
Good morning, Allison and Rob. Another full day ahead. Members will have 20 minutes of Q&A with Judge Jackson. Her sentencing record on child pornography cases has been in the spotlight, which Republicans say has consistently been on the lower end. Republican Senator Josh Hawley asked her about a case involving an 18-year-old and asked why she sentenced him to 3 months in federal prison instead of 2.
The sentences in these cases include not only prison time, but restraints on computer use, sometimes for decades, restraints on ability to go near children, sometimes for decades. All of these things judges consider in order to affect what Congress has required, which is a sentence that is sufficient but not greater than necessary.
Republican Senator Ted Cruz also questioned her about her views on critical race theory and whether that would influence her decisions on the court, referencing her time as a board member of Washington's Georgetown Day School, asking her about particular curriculum taught to 4 to 7-year-olds.
Do you agree with this book that is being taught with kids that babies are racist?
I do not believe that any child should be made to feel as though they are racist or though they are not valued or though they are less than, that they are victims, that they are oppressors. I don't believe in any of that.
She said that she didn't know critical race theory was part of the curriculum because that's not something that the board decides. She said she hasn't studied it extensively because it's not something that she's decided in cases, and she wouldn't rely on it in the Supreme Court. But we're likely to see a lot more follow-up on that and other topics throughout the day.
Yeah, absolutely. Kamini, thank you so much. Rob?
All right, Allison, thank you very much. As you just heard, the situation on Capitol Hill, it's drama about drama. She's going to get confirmed. It seems like it's a foregone conclusion. I'm not talking to myself. There's somebody sitting next to me right now. That's what I'm talking about. Let me widen this out and welcome in former Chief of Staff in the Trump Defense Department, Kash Patel, with us in-house. Good to see you. Am I right there, though? I mean, it seems like this will be a Brett Kavanaugh-esque vote, super close, maybe by a vote or two. I'm not convinced that Ketanji Brown Jackson gets by. I don't think she gets a single Republican vote, even though 3 Republicans voted for her when she was confirmed to the D.C. Circuit back in June. I think she's still confirmed, though.
Oh, she's definitely getting confirmed, and I think a couple of Republicans will end up voting for her.
Murkowski, Collins. Lindsey Graham was part of that group, by the way.
Yeah, and probably the guy from Utah, Romney.
Mitt Romney.
Yeah.
The senator, former governor.
Here's the one thing I will quickly say about her being on the court. Breyer was an actual liberal powerhouse. He had the ability to move the court to the left. She does not have that legal background, that legal gumption to do that. So as bad as it is for conservatives that she's going on the court, I think the court will actually swing more to the middle because she will not have the ability, the gusto to bring the court to the left.
Yeah, people forget Breyer, way back when, 87 senators voted for him. Yeah. That bipartisanship existed on Capitol Hill, not the case now. What do you think about the lack of diversity when it comes to the Supreme Court? So we've got 9 justices, including Justice Breyer. 8 of the 9 went to either Harvard Law or Yale Law. Only Amy Coney Barrett broke from the group. She went to Notre Dame. There are over 300 law schools across this great country. Pick people from some state schools.
Well, our friend Rick Rennell put up a funny truth the other day. There was no Asians were considered, no minorities were considered, and I chimed in and I said I wasn't considered because I went to like a terrible law school. Yeah. So I found that extremely offensive but hilarious. But to your point, you're right. Why is the Supreme Court just going to the Ivies? I don't understand. There's great lawyers, great judges that didn't go to those top 2 or 3
And
schools.
it's the same ideology. It's the same teaching principles. Like let's diversify who is actually on the bench instead of just picking from 2 schools, 8 of the 9. Pretty unbelievable. Okay, the big headline late yesterday was this Kremlin spokesperson, obviously who's got the endorsement of Vladimir Putin. He goes on with Christiane Amanpour and says that nuclear weapons are on the table. Take a listen.
We have a concept of domestic security. and well, it's public. You can read all the reasons for nuclear arms to be used. So if it is an existential threat for our country, then it can be used in accordance with our concept.
We keep hearing about nuclear weapons. Does it make you nervous that this is part of the conversation now?
Absolutely. And the reason we keep hearing about it from Russia is because it's the same reason they went ahead and launched a war, because there's no one in the West to actually stop them, to threaten them. We have a commander-in-chief that doesn't know how to issue global diplomacy from strength. Rather, he allows media headlines to run our regime to our detriment. So when Vladimir Putin wants to hijack the global media campaign, he says nuclear weapons and everybody listens, and they should,
right, because
he's in the middle of a war.
We're 28 days in. How do you think this ends?
Oh, I don't know. I think it's not going.
That's the million-dollar question,
yeah.
right?
I mean, ideally, we talk about diplomacy, but diplomacy only works when you have kinetic force behind it to create a space so your leaders can negotiate. At least Zelensky and the Russians are talking. They're not getting anywhere, but they've had 4 rounds of talks.
Yeah.
That's how you end a stalemate. Russia will probably try to get as much land in the Ukraine as they can. But at this point, I don't know when Vladimir Putin's going to stop, because while a lot of the media is saying he's losing, he's not really doing anything. He's got a ton of money, tons of soldiers, tons of weapons, and China backing him. He could go on for a long, long time.
I want to talk about the situation developing with the Babylon Bee. Satirical, they make me laugh probably, once a week. I'll read a tweet or something and it'll make me chuckle. So the USA Today named Rachel Levine their Woman of the Year. Rachel Levine, transgender. She was part of the Pennsylvania Health Department. Actually, just like Andrew Cuomo, people don't know this. She pulled her mom out of a nursing home and signed the order to put COVID-positive patients back in nursing homes. But transgender, a lot of people say that was part of why, the administration of identity politics, that's why she was selected. So the Babylon Bee said that she was their Man of the Year. Satirical, meant for a chuckle, sticks and stones again. So the Babylon Bee, their Twitter account was canceled. So you're over there at Truth Social saying, hey, cancel your Twitter account altogether and come over and see us.
Yeah, I mean, I may be biased on this. That's why I started.
Well, yes, you are biased, but are they coming over?
So Babylon Bee has one of the biggest accounts on Truth Social, but what we've been trying to tell them is don't wait for Twitter to say you can't be on anymore. Yeah. Delete your Twitter account, because those platforms and those people that defame you and deplatform you are why I got in the fight in the first place, to argue against using Facebook, Twitter, whatever, Instagram, whatever. Come over to one place that will never censor you on Truth Social. And I challenged Seth Dillon. I literally told him, I said, hey, on Truth, I said, I'll give $1,000 to a charity of your choosing if you delete your Twitter account.
So what's interesting and why I think this is fascinating and will become part of the 2024 election cycle is the fact that Twitter, they can delete the tweet. They wanted the CEO of Babylon Bee to delete the tweet.
Yes.
Basically, bow to us, kiss the ring. The CEO of Babylon Bee wouldn't do it. Which I think is a pretty bold move. Kash Patel, great having you on. Great seeing you, as always. Come back and see you soon. Hey, I'm Rob Finnerty. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please join the conversation in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe, too. Hit the bell icon to be alerted to breaking news. And remember, there's a whole lot more on Newsmax TV, America's fastest growing cable news network. Newsmax TV, we're real news for real people.